Let's continue with more action. Hailing all the way from Polokwane in Limpopo, Director Levy Sekonya, popularly known as Director Levy, is making waves in South Africa's film industry, redefining its landscape with innovative initiatives and a commitment to nurturing local talent. So in 2024, Sekonya launched Short Film Sundays. It's an initiative designed to provide young filmmakers and actors with resources and opportunities that they need to thrive in a competitive industry. Well, the project will culminate in an annual short film festival. It's hosted at the Bioscope in Malpark. And this morning, Director Levy joins us to chat a little bit more. Good morning. Thanks for making time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
What a great initiative. Thank you for pioneering this. So perhaps you could tell us what inspired you and how you see it actually transforming South Africa's filmmaking landscape at large, or film industry at large.
So Short Film Sundays basically came out of like a need for me to showcase my short films.
Okay.
And in doing so, I found out that other kids don't have the exact same opportunity. So it became like an actual problem to solve.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great initiative. It'll showcase more films in terms of short films, and then in terms of the future, getting more long format content out there.
Yeah. What would have been those initial challenges that you faced, and then how would you have overcome that through the initiative? Yeah.
So basically, the challenges I faced was accessing equipment, and through Nando's and through NYDA, I got funding for equipment.
Okay.
So with this equipment, I can help other kids as well that are looking to make films but don't have the equipment.
I mean, there are many filmmakers, right? We're also seeing this wave of change where many people are more empowered with different skills.
Yeah.
So how do you then sift through who is able to showcase? What's the criteria that you go through?
I think just the hunger. Some people shoot on their phones, like we see with social media.
Yeah.
Someone can act, but they don't have access to equipment to shoot a short film or something. So basically, we give them that kind of like tools and access based off that.
Networking must also be important then, because I mean, it's a small industry, everyone knows each other, it's a reference game as well. So how intentional are you about that? Perhaps also who is coming to enjoy the screenings as well?
Yeah, so definitely networking is important, and we have actors, we also have directors.
Yeah.
So in this networking, more projects can be formed off this. So I think just bringing all these creative minds into one space is a formula for creating future content. Yeah.
You were speaking about it being a short film festival, obviously. So what are those future plans then? I mean, I'm just looking at the way consumption's also changing. How do you factor that in, given the experience of filmmaking and perhaps also how people are consuming it at large?
I think with the digital era, obviously everything now, it's like YouTube, you have Netflix. And I think as South Africa, we haven't adapted yet to these types of, we still very much into our Monday to Friday shows, not like limited series and all these new platforms. So I think the Short Film Sundays also wants to educate the young people that times are changing. You can also have a show on Netflix, on YouTube, and all these other platforms.
The type of stories we tell also matter. So how intentional are you about that, and perhaps also encouraging others to add to that agency for us as a people?
I think How to Ruin Christmas, one of those movies.
Yes.
It actually tells us modern South Africa. There's so many stories of like the past. It's time to tell stories of the future. So I think films like How to Ruin Christmas, How to Ruin Love, these are great examples of how we're gonna shoot films in the future.
You can't operate in silo, and I say this because we have to look at government-private partnerships. So you've mentioned some of the private companies, obviously, that have come to the fore. What are your expectations from government, though, if we're looking at making our own footprint or impact in the world? The world is watching us at this point. You can see the power of storytelling, and you can also just see the mediums through which it's happening. What are your expectations? Are they falling short? What more do you want on that front as well?
Definitely. So, for example, Nando's has been sponsoring a lot of young creatives, and I think government should also take a role like that, where there's certain projects, certain events that look to actually bring all these creatives together. So I think government is doing a little right now, but looking at Gayton McKenzie, the new minister, and all he's been saying, I think we're heading in the right direction, and hopefully there's more festivals and more chances for young creatives to showcase themselves.
Yes. Where is it geographically based? Because that also matters in terms of access, right? And just even costs as well. So if it is in Gauteng, where else do you see it coming to the fore? Have you spoken to some of the other metros or provinces? What's that feedback been like?
Yeah, I think just starting out, we want to start it here because this is the film hub of South Africa.
Okay.
And in the future, we're going to go to Soweto, start off small there, go to Alex, and then hopefully take it outside Gauteng.
Okay.
And yeah, hopefully we can get more filmmakers in South Africa to actually
I like that you also mentioned those specific places, because we obviously also sometimes give more emphasis to some of the more popular touristy places, right? And so that's also important. So talk to us about how that also expands worldviews and influences people to dream bigger, to know that there is this as a career path.
I think South Africa, we're rich in talent. We've seen Sia Kolisi come from where he came from. We've seen Tyler, we've seen Trevor Noah. So I think we have so much talent. We just don't have the resources to showcase this talent. So I think we're heading in the right direction. IDC needs to step in, and the arts and culture needs to step in as well.
So now you're juggling many hats. How does this impact what you actually then get to put out? Because time is an invaluable resource. So how have you managed to balance that? I mean, that's also a reality that one has to face.
So if filmmaking is your hobby, there's no fine line. You don't know when you stop or where you work, actually. So I work all the time. I love this industry. So it doesn't feel like work. So I direct, I edit, I write scripts, I produce, create events around the film. So I love everything about it.
What do your people say about you? I mean, your hometown. So I mean, I mentioned you're from Polokwane, so they can obviously see what you've done, the impact that you also get to have. What are they telling you, and how does it actually make you feel, knowing that you're on the right path or you're aligned?
I think it makes me feel good. Most of my friends know me for music videos. So that's some of their favorite artists and whatnot is on these music videos. So that's where they know me from normally. So the next thing is for them to know me on TV screens. We're ever evolving, right? And we're holistic. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being a storyteller, and obviously also being part of archiving our history, because this is what some of this film material is going to represent. We're going to leave the conversation there for now, but this morning I was joined by filmmaker, founder of the short film festivals, Levy Sekonya, just chatting to us about the diverse voices, the stories that South Africa has to offer through that platform. Okay, so we're going to leave that conversation there. Dr. Smama is standing by for that much anticipated performance. Let's take a listen.